On my travels, I met a wonderful Egyptian blogger who kind of personified all of these things, young, into information technology, very concerned about human rights. And his name is Wael Abbas, and he started a blog in 2004. Among the things he captured in his focus on human rights was cell phone video of a detainee in Egypt being beaten up by police and sodomized with the end of a broomstick. And he put this on his blog, and it ended up as well on YouTube. It forced the Egyptian government to prosecute 2 policemen. It was the beginning of holding someone accountable. It provided access to information in ways beyond the state-controlled media. It helped redefine the debate. I think that in virtually every Middle East country today, even the conservative Gulf sheikdoms, there is growing pressure to change. The fact that Kuwait opened up to women, allowing them to run for office and to have the vote a couple of years ago. Even Saudi Arabia held its first election with male-only councils, local councils, not at a national level. And of course, in many of these elections, there are a certain number of seats that are appointed, which basically gives the government still the ability to veto or control whatever legislation is passed. But what's striking to me is that the debate and the activism is no longer limited to the elites, as it has been in the past. The numbers engaged, especially when compared to the small cells of extremists, is really quite striking. When I lived in Lebanon in the 1980s, during the height of the Civil War, violence was the only means of getting anything done. I mean, even in the middle of a traffic jam in downtown Beirut, when you couldn't break the traffic jam, someone would just put their hand out, fire into the air to break the traffic jam, and all the cars would suddenly find some way to get out of there. When I went back to Lebanon, it was really quite striking to me how a quarter of the population of the country turned out on the streets peacefully after the assassination of Rafiq Hariri, former prime minister, to demand the Lebanese government resign and the Syrians end 29 years of military occupation. Other countries are witnessing the same kind of experiences. In Jordan, after the 3 downtown hotel bombings, more than 100,000 people turned out to demonstrate against al-Qaeda, shouting as they marched through the streets of Amman, "Burn in hell" to al-Qaeda. These were not the typical rent-a-crowds one finds in so many countries. The president of Senegal, who was hosting the Organization of Islamic, the Islamic Conference Organization last week, came out and said the era of jihad must be over, that Muslims must not allow extremists to drag the world into wars of religion. There is a sense everywhere, even if it's only lip service, the fact that it's still part of the talking points is an important part.